Hi, I'm Barbara. Welcome to this week's episode of Craft Corner Kits to Go. We're getting close to Halloween now, so I thought it'd be kind of fun if we'd make some egg carton Halloween figures. There is Mr. Frankenstein, and I've got a vampire and a jack-o'-lantern and a ghost. So in your kit, you're going to have 9 egg cups, which is how many it takes to make these figures. And they're going to come to you like this, and you need to get your paints out. And I did it on a paper plate. You can do it on something that protects your table. But you want to paint 2 of these purple, 1 a limey green color, and I mixed yellow and green and white to get this. Then you want 2 white ones for your ghost, and you need 1 orange one for your pumpkin, and 2 black ones for your vampire, and a flesh-colored one for your vampire. So you want to paint all of these. It ends up being 9. And then when you're ready to start, the first thing I would do would be your jack-o'-lantern. And your jack-o'-lantern will be really easy. You just need to You want to poke a hole in this top part with either your scissor or some kind of a device that can poke through without making too big of a hole. And you have a template that's got different patterns on it. We want to cut out the one that's for the green pumpkin leaf. Now I'm going to trace around it onto the green craft foam that I got. And then we want to cut it out of the foam. I have a piece of pipe cleaner that I'm going to poke in the hole. And then I'll take a glue dot and put that on my green foam and glue that to my stem. And there you have a pumpkin. Now we're going to give it a pumpkin face. So I'm turning it around so that it's facing me. And I'm going to take a marker and draw the eyes. And they're just 2 triangles. Then draw a triangle for your nose. And make a jack-o'-lantern mouth. Now I have drawn that, and now I'm going to fill it in with my black marker so that it really shows up. So there, my jack-o'-lantern is finished. So we'll set him aside. The next one we probably want to do will be your ghost. That requires 2 white ones. And you just take them and pile them on top of each other. And you figure out where it's going to do the most good. It sticks better if you just keep turning it until you find the right place. Now I'm going to make a face on my ghost, and you'll notice my ghost has 1 big eye and 1 little eye, and then a mouth that we draw, So there's the big eye. So I've got a big eye and a little eye. And then I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to make an oval shaped mouth and fill it in with black. So there, my ghost is done. So I will set him here. The next one we're going to work on is Mr. Frankenstein. So Mr. Frankenstein requires 2 purple ones. And again, you want to take them and play with them until you get the right. You want it to be as tall as it can because Frankenstein is a monster after all. And then you're going to take your green one and put it on top and turn it until you've figured out what gives him the best. And then we need to pull it back off because we're going to use our marker. And you'll see we've drawn hair and eyebrows. So first of all, I'm going to make little tooth-shaped drawing all the way around. So I've drawn it all the way around. Now I'm going to take a fatter marker because I'm going to fill in all the top. So I've got the hair filled in all the way around. And now I think this is going to be the front of my face. So I'm going to make a jagged or a diagonal line across here. And then also I'm going to give him a mouth. So I made 2 lines like that. I'm going to take my smallest eyes and use a glue dot. I'm going to take my glue dot and break it in half because these are small eyes. So I'll put a half of a glue dot on each one of them and then arrange them on top of the top line where his eyebrow is. And do the same thing with the other one and put it right next to the other. Now I can't see that line very well, so I'm going to take my marker and extend it a little bit on both sides. So I didn't make it quite long enough. That way his brow is still behind it. Okay? So that goes on top of the purples. And then we want to give him a button or 2 on the front of his shirt. So you will get a button in your kit, maybe 2 buttons. And just take your glue dots and glue those on. I've got 2 buttons for this kit, but I think this is short enough that we're only going to put 1 on. So there he is. All right. And then the last one is the vampire. So for the vampire, we have 2 blacks and a flesh color. And the first thing you're going to need to do is draw the hairline. for this vampire. I'm going to use this for the front. So he has what's called a widow's peak. So you make a V at the front and then follow that hairline around to the side. And then make another. So we've got, this is the front, and you'll see I followed his hairline around. Now we're going to fill this in with black for his hair. Now I've got all of his hair colored in. So I'm going to put a couple of eyes on him. And again, I'm going to break this in half because these eyes are not that big. Come on. Okay. Now you have eyes, and you need a smiling mouth. And when we get to it, we will cut out teeth for him. So we have a white piece of self-adhesive foam, and we're going to cut out his shirt. And really, I'm just going to lay that on the edge here and cut around it. I don't even have to trace this because it's just a triangle. All right, so this is his shirt front. And I've taken the paper off the back here. That shirt front goes on the top of his black, okay? Now we need to cut out a cape for him. This is his cape top, and we're going to cut that out of red craft foam. Then we'll take glue dots so that we can see where it's going to land. Okay. Now we'll put this behind his head. So far it looks like this. He needs a bow tie for his shirt, which we're going to cut out of this self-adhesive glitter. Okay, so his bow tie is in a self-adhesive foam that we can glue on underneath his head. The only thing we still need are his fangs. Now I have given you the pattern for the fangs, but it's really easier to just take your white foam and cut 2 triangles that are fairly small. And I can just look at the size that's sitting there and cut these 2 triangles out. And those are my vampire fangs. So I would take the paper off the back of this and line it up right underneath where you've drawn his smile. There's the other one. There you go. Now, I've not had you fasten these on. I really think it's easier if you don't fasten them on, because that way you can move them to the best of your ability to make them as tall as you can. And there is your vampire. See, I can move his head around so I can make sure that the bow tie shows. So when you're done, you've got these little figures that you made out of egg carton. And that's it for this week's episode of Craft Corner Kits to Go. And we'll see you next week.